G'day folks and welcome to the channel. We are looking at an intercom today, a helmet intercom. This is the latest from Fodsports. This is their FX60C, the helmet intercom with a 4K camera built in. So in the box, we get the usual things. We've got the manual, the main unit itself, USB-C power cable, various other cards and bits and pieces, speakers, microphone, and this is the boom mic. There is also just a loose one as well. You get the sticky things for the speakers in your helmet, rubber pads and stick-on mounts. There's a clip version for your helmet, so you don't have to stick it on. You can just use a metal clip. And then you get this swiveling bracket thing as well. So this is so that you can get your camera to be just the right angle, which is pretty cool. And there's a couple of other little standoff brackety things, which is so you can get the angle right on the camera. There's instructions on how to install this. It's quite well laid out, so let's see if we can actually follow that.
Every helmet's going to be different when you're doing an install. You're just going to have to do the best you can. The curve won't be right, or you'll need to pad it out or something. Anyway, I got there.
Well, not bad. That's probably angled down too much, so we can just go whoop, poke it up a bit, and you can see I've stood that out a bit. So it's just sort of sitting out nice and vertical now. So let's just have a look at the camera, some of the features of the camera, and run through the app. The maximum resolution that you'll get out of this camera, the maximum quality, is 4K 30 at 20 megabits per second. Now that's not great compared to most action cameras these days. My old Sony FX3000 does like 50 or 60, and probably GoPros and that nowadays are all like 100 at least. But we'll have a look at the quality when we get some real world tests. It also has image stabilization, which you can turn on or off, which is nice. Now the camera, the unit itself takes a standard SD card in there. For my tests, I've put in a 128 gigabyte card. Another thing to know is that the camera saves the clips in durations that you set. So you can set 1 minute, 3 minutes, or 5-minute clip sizes, and that's how it stores them. It doesn't stop recording, but that's how it stores them. And then when the card fills up, it goes back to the oldest one and overwrites the oldest one. I ran a bench test twice. I set this on 4K 30, image stabilization on. I had the intercom on, although it wasn't connected to anything else, and sat it on my bench. Ran this twice, 2 tests. The battery lasted just over 4 hours on both of them. For about the last hour or so, I was getting this warning message saying insufficient camera battery. With 5 minutes to go, it gave me one last warning. It said power lower than 10%, turning off. Now you can check the battery level on this, and it will speak the results through the intercom. You just press those 2 buttons there, the top button and the back button will give you a status. It only gives you 4 statuses though. So one is power greater than 90%, power greater than 50%, power lower than 50%, and power lower than 10%. So it's not much, but it's probably enough. And also, given that it lasts a fair while, it's not such a big deal. If you want a more specific percentage, you can go into the app and it will tell you the percentage of the battery in the app. Full recharge of this unit took about 1 hour and 3/4, and it took 1570 milliamps. Now I do have to say I was pretty impressed by the battery life of this unit. Yes, there was no other intercom connected. I didn't have music playing. The image stabilization wasn't doing much because I was sitting on my desk here, but still, that's 4 hours of continual recording. And when you think about how you would actually use this, or how I would use it, it's not going to be just leave it on and let it go. It's going to be record certain things through the day on my right. So I would expect you'll get a full day's use out of this intercom using the camera intermittently. Let's talk about the app. It works over Wi-Fi. So the first thing is to turn on Wi-Fi on this device. You turn on the camera, which is the second from the front button. You press and hold that for a few seconds. The light should go red. Then you tap the top button again, turns on the Wi-Fi. On your phone, you go into Wi-Fi and it will appear, there it is, FX60C. You select that Wi-Fi. Your phone's now connected to the camera. And then you can go back to the app, open the app, Yeah, complete with ads. There you go. And it has connected. Here I am with live view on. That's all good. As you can see, the battery is 75%, and from this main screen I can start the recording, stop the recording, and I can take a snapshot. One photo done. In the camera settings, video resolution, like I said, this is the highest it does, 4K 30. You can do 60 frames per second, but that's only 2K. I just leave it on the top one. Recording options is where you can select 1, 3 or 5 minutes. This will affect transfer times later, which I'll talk about in a moment. I've just set it to 3. Resolution maxes out at 20 megabits per second. I don't know why you'd want to drop it any lower. Maybe if you're using it more as a dash cam type of thing, maybe then the file sizes are smaller so it records more, perhaps. But I'll just leave it on 20. Watermark on or off, that's the standard date time thing that it will put on there. Exposure compensation, you do have a little bit of control. So like on my Sony, I know I have mine set at about minus 0.7, which seems to work for that. I'd have to play with this a bit more to see what the different things do. Image stability, so that it has inbuilt stabilization, which seems to be pretty good. You can turn that off if you want. I don't know why you would do that. Maybe it saves battery, perhaps. Encoding type, MP4 is pretty standard. The live view is obviously on the main screen. And then the microphone source, you can change between the microphone on the front of the camera or picking up what's going through the intercom. You can change that in the app, but you can also change it on the camera. So when it's recording, you just tap the front button here and it will swap between the two. The camera will then split the file and it will start a new file with the other audio source. And then there's a few other things, collision sensing, I don't know, locking current recording video. Yeah, a bunch of other stuff. And the format of the storage card on the camera, which you can do. Also on the front screen is you can view the files that are on the camera. Right, so we go into there, so that very top one there, that is the little clip that I just recorded just before. It's not very long. And from here, you can download it via Wi-Fi or do some other things or delete it or whatever. Now this is where it gets interesting. The way to deal with the files that are on this, that are captured by the camera, you've got 3 choices. You've got the Wi-Fi version, you've got the cable, you can just plug a cable into the bottom of this, USB-C, onto your computer, it appears as a drive, or you can pop the card out and stick it into a reader on your computer. The transfer time is something to be very mindful of if you're going to be using Wi-Fi. I recorded a 1-minute video clip on this camera at 4K 30. The file size was 452 megabytes. That 1-minute video took 4 minutes to transfer via Wi-Fi to my phone. 4 minutes. Using the cable with this, it took 23 seconds, and popping the card out and putting it into a reader on my Mac took 5 seconds. I know which one I'll be using. So that's just something to keep in mind too. If you think you're going to be wanting to get the files from this unit via Wi-Fi onto your phone, maybe you just want to share them quickly, while you're out on a ride, I'd be probably setting them to 1-minute clips, because otherwise it's going to take like 20 minutes to do a 5-minute clip. That's enough of all the bench tests and specs. Let's get out in the real world. Let's see what the quality is like out of this camera.
First, talk about the audio. Now, when I got this camera, which was a pre-production version, the audio was so quiet that I actually thought there was a problem with it. I didn't think it worked. I spoke to Fodsports about it, and they said that was a deliberate design feature where they'd set the gain really, really low to cut out the wind noise. Now, in my video editing software, I just increased the gain and it kind of worked. So you'll hear that in a moment. But they did take my feedback on board and they have increased the volume within the camera. So I'm not quite sure what the production one is going to sound like. This one is not the production version. So at the moment, as you can see, I'm standing up, I'm doing, I don't know, about 60, my speedo stopped working, so it's bad luck. Standing up, eyes open, talking into the intercom, just as if I was talking to someone else on the intercom. I will do a full intercom test at some point, but that's not today. Today's just about the camera. Now the other thing I will be doing is swap between the Sony picture and the Fodsports picture, or I might do a side by side. Now the next thing that was kind of apparent to me was just how the image stabilization works. When you look at the left hand one, which is the Fodsports picture, you'll see it does sort of big movements, if that makes sense. Like it kind of holds as much as it can in one position, and then the helmet moves too much, so it just changes. It just shifts the whole thing, and then it holds that for a bit, and then it shifts to another orientation. Whereas the Sony kind of does smaller increments. The other thing I will say about the picture of the Fodsports is that it's really nice to be able to have the little leveling block things that make the whole camera vertical. You'll see my Sony one is at a bit of an angle all the time. That's just how it is on the helmet. Whereas the Fodsports on the left, you can set it to be vertical and you can rotate it as well. So currently it's actually probably down a little bit. It probably needs to go up one notch. All good features on the Fodsports setup. As for the quality, so you got 20 megabits per second on the Fodsports versus 50 on the Sony. Is there a difference? Yeah, I think there is a difference, but you know, for this type of thing, for YouTube videos or whatever, it's probably fine.
Where's that kid? Oh, look at him. I love the kittens. It's so cool. Oh, into the bushes. Okay, now because it is an intercom, I thought I probably should test the actual intercom features. So I've got two intercoms here. I've got the Fodsports FX60C. I've got their older M1S Plus unit, which I've had for many years. They're two Fodsports units. We're just going to test how they pair up. Now the FX60 is currently factory reset, so we're going to pair it to the phone and then pair it to the other one of these, and you'll see how pretty simple it is. So you simply turn that on, press those back to the back button and the front button. We'll turn this one on as well. Now they are talking, but you can't really hear them, probably. Unless I put a microphone up here, a speaker up here, maybe then you could hear it. Put him right there. Let's see what happens. Now it's, I think from the get-go, it's like in a pairing mode. So it should just be able to go straight into Bluetooth. There it is, Fodsports FX60C. Hit that and that should... Device connected. Excellent. To pair the two intercoms together is just a matter of pressing this button on this one, puts it into searching, and then press this button on this one for a few seconds. Pairing. And it should be pretty much instantaneous. Intercom connected. It's connected and they're talking, and if I tap this microphone, you'll hear it coming through there. Test, test. Should be coming through that speaker, and this one, test, test. It's coming through those speakers. So the intercom pairing works great. The actual music playing, let's pick this one. The trick with the music I found, I've got to turn the intercom off. So to turn the intercom off, you simply press that button once, intercom's off, and now the music plays. If your mate wants to talk to you on the intercom and you've got your music blaring away, as long as they've been paired, it's pretty straightforward. Your mate just presses the intercom button to connect again, taps it once, intercom is now paired, and you can talk on the intercom. So now, check, 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 check. And when you've had your fun talking, either one of you can turn off the intercom again. If your mate turns off the intercom, the music starts up again. That's pretty simple. Now there is a whole bunch of other things that you can do with the FX60C, like there's music sharing. You know, two intercoms have music on one, share to the other one. There's an FM radio built in.
I'm not going to test all this stuff out because an intercom's an intercom and pretty much it should work. If you want to see how different Fodsports units actually work, I've done full reviews on quite a few of their other models, and it goes through all the different modes and things that you can do. Now, one thing that you obviously heard just then, if you're listening to music and the intercom comes in, then the music cuts out totally. There is one other model that they do, I think it's the FX8. The music keeps playing, it just lowers the volume, but that's totally different sort of circuitry, and it's not what this does. There is one really important thing too that I found out about this. It does not record the whole intercom conversation. It will record what the rider is saying through the boom mic, but it doesn't record everything else going on. It doesn't record the other conversations, what you are hearing, it only records what you are saying. I think that's a bit of a missed opportunity because I know people have been crying out for ages to be able to record intercom conversations, but this doesn't do it either. So look, maybe there's some legal stuff around it. I don't know. Right, now I'm going to get into a bit of a conclusion. Who is this for? And that's been my question all along. I've asked that question many times to the Fodsports guys, and they have sent me a couple of different answers. The best answer, and kind of aligns with what I'm thinking, is this is for someone who just wants something simple. They want an intercom so that they can make phone calls, take phone calls, listen to music, talk to their mates, get directions. They want the intercom, and it would also be nice to be able to record bits and pieces of the ride as well. So that's what this is for. It is one device, it's nice and simple. You don't have, a camera over here and an intercom over here, multiple things to charge, none of that. It's just one thing, one battery, which lasts a fairly long time. So I think that's who it's for. Now, the other thing that Fodsports said is the camera system, I suppose, is kind of more designed for the dash cam type of experience. And that makes sense. When you look at the file system, there's a whole bunch of little files in it, 1 minute each or 3 minutes each. That's a real pain to deal with if you are recording hours of footage and putting it onto your video editing software. You want one file of 60 minutes. You don't want 60 files to deal with for the same thing. So that kind of makes sense. Also, the quality is not quite there, right? So it's only 20 megapixels, which is okay for, tiny little screen things, maybe little 30-second clips on TikTok or whatever. But for a long form video or part of a longer hour-long documentary on some journey that you did, it's probably not good enough for that. I think if you're just getting started into vlogging, moto vlogging, this is probably a great way to get into it, just to see what you can do with it. But I think you're gonna run into limitations pretty quick if you want to do any sort of more serious filmmaking. So thanks to Fodsports for sending me this. It's been an interesting review, interesting look at this device to see one of these all-in-one devices. If you want to get one of these yourself, have a look down below. There'll be a link down below. All the details will be there. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.